Okay, so now that I'm done creating all this report, the next report to create is the one big report in this middle to occupy the space. So I'm going to go back to my report. Then under report, I would like to do some interesting report, like a scatter plot report that will look very amazing. So what I'm going to do is to copy out these guys here from this my pivot table. All right, so I'm going to copy it here, and then I'm going to create an X and Y scatter chart location. So for this, you can use any number just to split, just to make the number scattered around in the scatter chart. So for this one, I will use 1, 7, 4, and I will use maybe 6, 4, and 2. So what I did here now is just to create something like a scatter chart position, right? So I'll click on the blank cell and I'll go to my insert to create a chart. So I'll go to insert. Under insert, I will come to different chart that I have here. So I want a scatter chart. Under this line chart, I'll pick the scatter chart. I think my scatter chart should be under here. Yes, scatter chart, and I'll pick this one. So this is a blank scatter chart. There's nothing inside, but I want to put this X and Y inside. So I'll right click on it and I'll click select data. And you see this select data. So I'll click on add. Then the name, I can call it maybe chart position. Then the X, I'm going to highlight this, and from the Y, I'm going to highlight this and click OK. Okay, so now you can see the position of these three payment position on my scatter chart right now, and you can see them scattered all around. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to change this chart to a bubble chart, which is the one that is more bigger. So I'll click on change chart type, and I will change this to this bubble chart. Can you see this bubble chart? And I'll click OK. And here, can you see that my chart is a kind of bigger, but I want this bubble chart, my X is no longer showing, right? Can you see my X is no longer showing? But I'll bring that back. So what I need to do first is to bring the amount here. All right, so I'm going to use VLOOKUP to bring the other amount here. So I'll do equals to VLOOKUP. My lookup value is this one. Then my lookup array is this, and I'm going to lock it. All right, comma, and I want the second one. I'll put 2. Okay, comma 0. Then I'll close my bracket and click enter. So here I have my value here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'll right click this and click select data again. So I'll click on edit. So this X axis is no longer there. So I'll come back and put my X here again. Then my series bubble size, I'm going to use my amount for that, for my bubble size. Now click OK. And also OK. So you can see my size is now based on what I have inside my amount. Once I'm done, the next thing to do is to work on this axis to make it look nice. So I'm going to click on this and I'll go to my axis options. Then under axis option, I'm going to change the minimum of this to 0 and the maximum of this to 10. All right, so that it can increase with my data. So this is minimum and then maximum. Same thing for units. I'll come to the one down here and I'm going to change this to 0 and 10 as well. All right, 0 and 10. Then my axis bubble. All right, my axis bubble. So I'm going to click on the bubble and change the scale size to maybe 80. All right, so I can manage it that way, or I can do 70 if I want to, but I think it's too small, so let me just do 90. All right, so this kind of makes sense. Another thing I would like to remove is all this axis. I don't like all these chart elements. I don't want it in my chart, so I'm basically going to remove them. I'm going to remove all this. I'm going to remove all this. So I have just this my chart. The next thing to do is to put an highlight on the highest bubble. So the next thing to do is to highlight the highest payment options, right? So to do that, I'm going to add a formula here, and that formula basically is just to show the highest payment option. So I'll come here and I'll add max here, or add max here, and basically what I'm going to do is to write a function that says if this is the highest, I want you to return it here. If s, this should be blank, right? So I'll do equals to if this guy is equals to max. I'm going to write a max formula, and I'll select the range, close bracket, comma. If it's equals to max, then return it, right? Else, just I'm going to put those two double quotes. That means make it empty. It should just be empty, right? And I'm hit enter. You can see this is not the max, so it's not showing. So once I drag down, this is currently the max and it's showing. So the next thing to do is to add that to my chart. So I'm going to select this chart, right click it, and do select data. So under my select data, I'm going to add an additional entry. So I'll click on add. Here I'll call this series name max. So the x axis is the same. I will highlight the x axis, and then the y axis is also the same thing with what I have here. I'm going to highlight it. Then the bubble size for this will now going to be the max, all right, which is this. Then I'm going to click OK. Now immediately you can see that the color of the highest is kind of different from the previous color that I have. All right, now I'm going to insert the maximum value into the maximum bubble. So I'll click on it, and then I'll go to my chart design up here. Then from my chart design, I'll click on add chart element, data label, center, and right here I can see these two. So I'll click on it and go to my format option, and I'll tick value from cell. That way I can highlight this max and then click OK. Then I will have this here. So let me do a comma for this to make it 1000 separator, and then I can remove the decimal. All right, then this one I can come here and just remove the y value, right? So I can only have the value from cell. So since I have this, the next one to do is to add. Alright, so I'm going to add the data label for others as well, but I'm still going to remove the show leader lines here. So to do that, I need to create another formula here called without max. Alright, without max. Then I'm going to use the same formula, but I'm going to switch the true and the false. So I'll say if this guy is equals to max of this range is equals to max, I'm going to lock it, close my bracket, then give me nothing else, return the value. So hit enter, and I'm going to drag it down. So let me do 1000 separator for this and remove the decimal. So I will select this chart again, and then click on this and go to chart design, select add chart elements, data label, then center. Now click here, go to my axis option, expand label option, value from cell. I'm going to highlight this and click OK. Then I will untick Y value and then show leader line. Alright, now I have the data label for every bubble. Alright, so let me start doing the formatting. So I'll click on the text, and then I'll change the color to white, prefer white, and I'll increase the label. So let me click on this as well, it's to white. You know the eyes should be bigger, so I can make this 11 or 12. Alright, once I've done that, I'll click on the bubble and I'll go to fill and line. Here I'm going to add some color. I'll use gradient fill here, and I'm going to remove that up to me having 2. I'm going to pick 2 colors that I've been using since, which is this blue and then this purple. Alright, let me change my type to radial, and I'm going to pick with this one. I'm going to increase the color as well. Okay, but let me change this radial to this one. Okay, so I think I like this beautiful color. Now let me add shadow. Let me add shadow to it. I'll go to here and add a shadow. The color of my shadow will be, I'll pick this shadow, the one, the offset circle. Now I'll use the blue color, the blue, and then I'll increase this to 0. You can increase the blur size, and then the size to something like 104, the blur to 7, the size to 104. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for this one, and I'm going to click on this. I'll go to my fill and line, change the color to gradient, and I'll change this to green instead. Okay, okay, I think this makes sense. So this color makes sense. I can make the shadow of the highest one green, so I'll go to here, change the color of the shadow to green. I'll use this one. Now change the color to green. Maybe this green. I'll reduce the transparency to 4, forward to 7, this to 104. Okay, so the first part of the bubble is ready. So I'm going to take this, I'll cut it, and I'm going to change this to my dashboard. I'll take it here. So from here I can make it bigger, and I can remove the background. So I can go to chart design, then format. I can go to format, then from my format I can come to shape fill and do no color, and shape outline, no color. Then here you can see my chart. So I think I can make this blur the more so it can blend. So let me click here and increase the blur. Alright, and then also increase the blur for this. I can use like the blur should be like 14 or 15. Alright, interesting. So the first part of my chart is done, which is this one. Now let's look at creating all other aspects of this chart. Alright, once it's done, I would like to bring the percentage of the target met into the center of this my scatter chart. So to do that, I'll go back to my report, and then from my report I'm going to do another report. So I'll copy this guy, I'll put it down here, and I'm going to do another type of report that just compare my sum of targets versus let me show this should fit list, and I'm going to remove this percentage. I will remove this payment mode as well. I just want to compare my order amount and then my target. So I have the target here. So this is the target. Let me do comma for the target. So this is the target here. So I have the target and I have the order amount. So I have my order amount here and I have target. Okay, so to make them be on the same line, I can bring these values from here. Look at these values from column. I'll take it to row. These values from column, I'll take it to row. That way I can have both of them here. So now I can do a percentage. So let me do a percentage here to the side, a percentage. And what I'm going to do equals to this guy divided by this guy. All right, and that will give me, let me change this to percentage. I'm going to come here and click percentage, 99%. And once I do this guy divided by this guy, that will give me the other percent, which is like 1%. All right, so which is like 1%. Okay, so yeah, this guy divided by this guy will give me 1%. And to get the other percentage, so I'm just going to do something like equals to this guy, or 100%. I can put 100% in Excel minus this guy, so that will give me the other percentage, which is like 99%. So I need to use this guy inside my dashboard. So I'm going to create a new card, so I can use this card. Let me just bring a new card, actually insert, and then I'm going to bring a text box here, and I'm going to link this to that, equal to 99%, and I'm going to edit this, my shape format, shape field, nope, shape outline, nope, then color white, and I'm going to increase the size white. Okay, that's 99%. I'm going to put it in between here. Guess it's kind of too big, so let me use like 40, like 36. I think 36 is fine. 36 is okay. Right, and I'm going to bring another text box here and type percentage of budget achieved. Percentage of budget achieved. Here, go to my shape format, no fill, shape outline, no fill, and I'll make it a white, and then reduce the size to maybe 10.5 and add that here. So you can see I'm getting there. Alright, so the next thing is to insert a donut chart to signify this percentage. If you go back to the percentage I brought up just now, just this one, so we can actually use this to create a donut chart. So I'm going to click on an empty Excel and go to insert, come to this pie chart and select a donut chart. So from my donut chart here, I'll right click and click on select data and click on add. So right here, let me just say dummy. Okay, I'm just going to put dummy here, and under this your series value, let's add one up to let's add one up to, let's say 58. So I can, or let's say 50. 1 1 1 1 1 1. So I'm just going to count. Let me count from here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 20 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50. So what I did is just to add one with comma, and then let me see, I think there's this place I didn't add a comma, so maybe that's what the issue is, and I'm going to click OK. So I'm going to right click on this, click on select data, and then I'll click on add. Then here I'm going to add just 1 1 1 inside here, so you know when I had 1 comma 1, and then I'm going to add 1 comma 1, so up to like maybe 50. 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 50 51 52. So like 50, and I'm going to click OK. And right here I think I had it like 47. That's still okay. So I'm going to delete this guy here. I don't need it. So these are the things that I want here. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to change the color. So I'll right click and do format data series. I'll go to my fill and line. I'm going to use gradient, and I will maintain the color that we've been using. So instead of green, this is actually the purple bit, and then I'm going to use linear this time, linear color this time, and I'm going to do something a little bit lighter. Okay, so I'm just working on the color, right? Just working on the color, right? That's what I'm doing. Linear, and I can just change the color from here. And what is very important here is the border, because it's going to be in line with the color you use in your dashboard. So if the background color you use in your dashboard is black, then this border has to be black, right? So I have to do a solid line, and I'll change the color of this to black so it can blend with the color you use in your background. But if you use a different color in your background, then you should use another color here. So here I'm going to use like width of 9 or 10, depending on how I want this to be very bold. All right, and that's what I'm going to do. All right, so once I'm done, the next thing to do is to add the data to it. So I'm going to right click on it again and do select data, and I will click add, and I'll call this percentages, and now the series value is going to be this guy, and I'll click OK. So okay, so now I can see this. Now what I'm going to do is to change the chart to a combo chart, and then this combo chart is going to be this, and this is also going to be this. Okay, but this other donut is going to be a secondary, so I'm going to make this a secondary chart like this. I'll make this a secondary chart like this. All right, so I'll make this a secondary chart. You see what I did? The percentage is set. So I'm going to start with the orange part. So this small part, I'll click on it, and I'll change the color to black, and I will increase the transparency to like 28. Okay, no, I think I clicked the wrong axis. So what I want to select is the orange. So I'm going to change this to black, and then I will increase this to 20 something, right? Just increase. Now for the blue, I'm going to click the blue, this blue here, and let me change this to solid fill so that I can reduce the transparency throughout. So the transparency is not really showing anything, so to be showing what is at the back. So I can take this to my dashboard now, and from my dashboard I can remove the shape fill, no fill right here, and I can say outline to no outline. Now this is looking nice, but let me remove I can also remove the border for this my blue, so say no line here, so that way I don't have any border. And here I'll click the yellow as well and say no line. So right here I have something interesting for my data. So let me make it bigger so it can be exactly here, and I'm going to send this backward. Just right click on it and do send backward. So send to the back. Alright, so this kind of makes sense. So if I change to different zone, and let's look at some percentage that are very less. So because this is full, you can't see the full percentage. You can see this 6%, you can see the different here a little bit, and the 95%, you can see that there. This is like 81%. I can see there's a lot of space here. Okay, so this is the kind of thing I want to see, and I'm going to send this backward so I can have access to this. So I'm going to click this, take it up a little bit, take it up, and then take this up as well. Also take this up. So this is the design that I'm doing. Okay, I'm getting there. Alright, so the next thing is to add a little bit of design to this my chart. So what I'm going to do now is to add some circle to this and then do some little interesting stuff. So I'll go to insert, I'll go to illustration, shapes, and I'm going to pick circle from here. So to make your circle very perfect, you have to hold your shift. So once you hold your shift, this make more sense. So now I have this. I'm going to duplicate this. I'll do Control D. Control D will duplicate it, and here I will say I'm going to change the color to something else, but let me do no line first. No line, and I'll just change the color of this to black. So I want a black. I'll put that black here. Let me delete this and duplicate this black. So this new black that I have, I can come to gradient color here and then make it this my color. Remember this color. Remember these are color, right? Right, then I'll do radial for this, and then I'm going to pick probably this. This. Okay, and this kind of makes sense. Right, so this kind of makes sense. So once I have this, this is fine. So I can increase the size a little bit to make it a little bit bigger, something like this. All right, then I can do a duplicate again, Ctrl D, and this particular one I would like to increase the transparency. We also increase the transparency of this, and I'll use radial for this. Maybe I should use the middle one, or probably I should use a rectangular or linear. Okay, so I think the linear kind of makes sense. So I'm just checking different things now, but let me use radar instead. And okay, so I have this now, and I'm going to make this bigger as well. Make this a little bigger, so make it bigger. So what I'm going to do, I'll bring this guy and this guy, I'll bring them to front, Well, before I do that, let me bring this guy and this guy to front first, this guy and this guy and this guy, sorry, so this guy and this guy, this one, bringing it to front. Okay, let me just do this one first. Bring to front, and I'll come here, click here, click this one, and bring these two to front. Okay, so since I have this now, let me make this a little bit bigger as well. So then I can click this, click this, click this, click this, go to my shape alignment. I need align. Let me align center, and I can align middle. Correct. So this is like kind of what I want, but the black one is a little bit backward, so I need to bring the black front. So this one to bring to front, and I need to put this here, then this guy and this guy should also come to front. That's actually what I want. This guy and this one bring to front, and then let me make sure this is well aligned. This and this. I will just come to align to middle, and align center. That way I know they are all aligned. Then I can bring this percentage inside of it to 1% and percentage achieved. Maybe I should make this I can centralize this. Alright, so then I have something like this, right? This is what I like to achieve. Another thing I would like to achieve. Now, The other thing I would like to do is to create sub for all these things. So let me even click this to be sure all is working fine. Let me click some B, some C. Oh, something is wrong with some C. It's like it's highlighting two marks for me, so that means something is wrong with my mouse. I need to go here to check. Oh, see, can you see this? So I didn't lock this my if, right? So I need to lock it. I'll go inside the back and lock it. So when you're creating your own, please remember to lock. So I'll lock this range and I'll drag it down back. So if I go here, I think it makes sense now. Okay, so I would like to add some additional lines to this report. So what I would do here, so if I go to this particular report now, this kind of makes sense, but I want to create a separate report from this. So I'll copy this. It's something similar, right? I just want to add more information to this. Oh, sorry, I copied the wrong thing. So I'm going to copy this and paste here, and this particular one I want to add more things here. So instead of having the other amount and this, I would just like to have the average delivery time, and so I'm going to change this to sum instead. I'll click value fit setting, change it to average. So average delivery time taken and average customer rating. So customer rating, value fit setting, I'll pick average and I'll click OK. So this is the information that I need, and I need 2 decimals. So let me right click this, say number format. So decimal number is what I need. So I'll click this and say 2 decimal, or maybe no decimal at all. All right. So I'm doing the same for this as well. Number format, number, no decimal. All right, so I have this, and this is kind of okay for me. So I just want to bring this to this place. So what I would do is I would do a line chart, just a line. I'll go to insert, click on illustration shapes, and click on a line. All right, this is the line, and I'm going to format this line chart. I'm going to format it, and I'll give it a gradient format. I'll make it my color. So this color, I'm just changing the color, and this should be blue. This blue. So I want to have it here, and I'll make the line a little bit thicker. So I will increase the width of the line to maybe like 2 to 2. Right? So this is like what I want to achieve. So I'll duplicate this and then put it here. Right? So maybe I should take this entire chart up a little bit so that I can be more realistic for what I want to do. Okay, so let me bring this here, bring this here. All right, then I'm going to bring this here. Let me duplicate it again and bring this here. But for this, I'll change this to green, since green is what I want here. So green, so that I can all work together. Green. Okay, so I'm kind of close to being done. So here I already have, okay, I'm going to add another report to this one. I'm going to add the percentage of grand total for order rating. So let me just add value fit setting, or let me just do show values as instead. Right click on this, show values as percentage of grand total. Alright, so this is what I want to achieve. I just need to bring them to my dashboard. Alright, so to do that, I need to put it in a shape, but I would like to draw like one donut shape here first. So I'll go to shape, I'll bring this particular shape, this one. I think I like this one. So like this one, I'll reduce the thickness. Can you see that? By clicking on that yellow. Okay, Ctrl Z. I'll hold my shift before I reduce the size. So remember, when you hold your shift, a circle will maintain its let me do it again. I go to insert, illustration, shapes, and I pick this. So you have to hold shift so like the circle can maintain its size. Alright, hold shift again to reduce this. But I'm going to change the color of this. So let me go to shape format, shape fill. I'm going to do a very light blue, and the shape format should be this, and I'll reduce it. Oh, sorry, I have to hold shift. All right, so hold shift to reduce it very well. All right, so I have this. Let me increase it a little bit. So I have to kind of, yeah, so I'll duplicate it, put it here, duplicate it, and then put it here. Okay, so my report is looking nice, right? I'm sure my report is looking a little bit nice. I think I need to move this guy up. Let me just group everything. I want to group this group so I can move everything up. Alright, and then I'm going to move this up to create more space. Alright, so I'll move this up, this up. Sorry, I'm moving the wrong thing. So I'm gonna move this here, this here, this here, this here, and this here. Okay, so since I've moved this here, I just need to bring another text box to put all those percentage inside it. So text box, I'll draw a text box, then inside here I'll do equals to this percentage for cash on delivery. So for cash on delivery, but there's something I missed, right? I didn't put the data. I didn't put the okay, let me edit this. Let me move away from my formula. So I didn't have the data label for all these boxes, which is just to show what are they. So I can still go back to my chart design, add elements, data label. I want this one. Can I say below? Nope, below does not really make sense. So let me say add data label to the center. So I just want to add more data label to the center. All right, and all right, so what I need to add is, let me just add the label for all these things to here, so I know what is what. All right, so I'll go to insert text box, and I'll draw a text box, and I'm going to link this 1372782 equals to this, sorry, equals to, go to report, and this 1372, that's the cash on delivery. So I'm going to link this here. I'll shape format, no fill, no outline, and then this should be white. Should be white. Reduce the color, the size, I mean, and I'll put cash on delivery here. Can increase this, reduce the size more if I want to. Just to make sure my real estate is okay. So this is cash on delivery. You can put it. Okay, so let me duplicate this and then put it here. This one is 15952, so equals to, if I go to report, 15 is debit card, and I'm going to do white for this debit card. Right, so let me duplicate this. 273 is a credit card, so I'll reference this as well. Credit card. No, sorry, do debit card instead of credit card. 2793. That's credit card. Alright, so change the color to white, reduce the size. Okay, so I have that there. So the next thing to do is to reference this percentage I want to reference before. So I'll just say equals to report. So percentage for cash on delivery is 25%. That's cash on delivery. Make this white. Shape format, I will remove this, no fill, no outline. And I'm going to reduce the size and put this guy inside here. Alright. In fact, I can even make it 1 decimal so that my percentage look nice. Now go here. I have this 28%, 29%, I mean, copy it, put it here. Change the reference for debit card. Debit card is equals to, debit card is 30%. Change the color to white. Double click it, double again, double it by doing Ctrl D to double. And I'm going to change this to credit card. Credit card is what? Sorry. Credit card is 44%. The color is white. Alright, so I'm getting there. So now can I create more branches for this one, which is average customer rating and then average delivery rating. So I can create like a just another line, another branch, right? So here I will just come to insert, illustration again, and I'll pick the line chart. So I'm going to draw a line chart like this. So I'm going to draw this line chart here. Then from here I'll make this shape color gray. Alright, I'll make it gray. Then I can increase the size of the, I can increase the width size. So if I right click on it, format shape, I can increase the width from 0.5 to 1 to just 1.5. So double it, and the two things here. Alright. Bring this here as well. So alright, so now that I've created like 6 more branches, so I can now start bringing different shapes. So I can go to insert. This is kind of cumbersome, but if you take your time you'll be able to do it. So shapes and then circle, hold your shift to create a perfect circle, and this circle here, and the color of this circle that I want should be gray. So I want something gray. Okay, then the outline should be no outline. So I'm going to duplicate this for this, and then for this, and also for this. So duplicate it for this, duplicate it for this. Okay, so I'm almost done. Now that I have all the branches, so what I need to do now is to bring the values, but I don't like this color, so the color is too light, so let me change it to something dark, a darker version of gray. So shape format, shape value, and I think this kind of makes sense if it's not too deep. Yeah, I think I prefer this. All right, I think I prefer this. So I'll just draw, let me draw another text box. Go to insert, go to text box. Now this text box, I'm going to use it to bring in different values. So equals to, I'll start with cash on delivery. So what's the cash on delivery? This is it. What's the average delivery rating? I'll bring it. Average delivery rating for that. The outline is no fill. Text color is white. Alright, can also change it here, and I'll bring this here. So this is average delivery rating. You can duplicate this, put it here. And this is going to be average customer rating. So make this white, reduce the size. And it's fine. This is just 3. So customer rating, the average customer rating is 3. So let me duplicate this for this, and I'm going to change this as well. So for credit card or debit card, the average is this. Change the color to white and duplicate it with Ctrl D. Also link this to here. This is also 3. Change the color to white, duplicate it, and then I'll also link this as well. It's my credit card. Credit card is 31. And then this one is what? 3. Okay, so I can just add one decimal to it so that the score does not look like they are the same. Alright, so let me just go back and add one decimal to my report. So I'll right click on this one and say number format, just 1 decimal, and then I'll right click on this one too, say number format, just 1 decimal. So if I go here now, it will be updated with 1 decimal. So this look like I need to expand it. So same thing for this. Looks like I need to expand, and then also this, and this may go to the right. Alright, so the next thing is to name it. So I'm going to go to insert and do text box again, and here I'm going to do average. This one is actually average delivery time. Average delivery time. Average delivery time. I'll do italics. Shape format, no fill, outline, no outline. Go to my home tab and I'll make this white, then reduce the size very well to maybe 8. Average delivery time. average delivery time, average delivery time. Then I have average customer rating, which is this one. So let me rename this average customer rating. All right. Average customer rating. And average customer rating. Okay, so I'm kind of done, right? So I've added all the layers that I want to add to this report. So if I do a full screen now, a full screen mode, so you see my report in full. Now, some people have been asking that I also added a logo to this thing, like a picture, so it's easy. So if you go to Insert, you can click on illustration and click on pictures. This device can add any logo actually. So for me, I'll go to my download. I think I have one particular copper picture that is like a logo. This one or this one, I don't know which one it is, but let me bring it in. Yeah, I think it's this one. So I can put that picture anywhere. You can see that picture even makes sense anywhere I put it. Okay, it makes sense anywhere I put it. So, but rather than making it big, I can make it very small and then put it here. Okay, so I'm kind of done, but another thing I will do here, before you can save your dashboard, right, and then maybe post your picture on Twitter, LinkedIn and the likes, there's one short way to post a picture. So what you can do, right, you can draw a background. So if I go to Insert right now, do illustration shapes. So these shapes, I'm going to draw it across my dashboard. I'll draw it across the dashboard, but I'll make sure it's the same size with my dashboard. All right, can you see this? Then I'm going to change the color. So when I right click and do format shape, I'll change the color to the same color I used in my background, which is black. Right, can you see that? So which is black. Then I'm going to send it backward. I'll say send to the back. All right, what I did now is to put a picture that will control the size of my dashboard. So if I want to save this picture and I want it to come out well, I can do Control A. So this Control A is going to highlight all the different shapes inside this my dashboard. In fact, I can group it if I want to. So if I right click and I group, that's if I want to group, but so that I can move it around. So people really don't need to group. Can you see? Sorry. So can you see this? Can you see I can move everything around since I've grouped it? Okay. So since I've grouped it together like this, I can right click on that my grouping, right? I can do Control A again, so I'm sure yeah, everything is highlighted. Then I can right click and say save as picture, save as picture, and say my dashboard, and then I'll save it on download and I'll click save. So if I go to my download now, I'm sure you see my dashboard. Yeah, so look at this. Let me open the picture. Okay, so this is my dashboard. Once you have this dashboard, kindly post it on LinkedIn and then Twitter, and make sure you tag me on LinkedIn at Adewale Analyst, and also on Twitter, Twitter at Adewale Analyst, and on LinkedIn, Adewale Yusuf. Thank you so much for joining this challenge. Looking forward to another beautiful challenge soon in Power BI.